Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co. Today, let's talk about community and how important it is and building it. There's so many directions in this. Where do I want to start? Let's start with me and how I spent most of my life trying to dissect myself away from my own community. So I grew up in North Alabama. I've lived in the same 5-mile radius my entire life. A very small town, very country, Christian, Bible Belt, homegrown type of place, which is great now, okay? I've come to terms with it in a positive manner, and not even like, okay, if that's what y'all want to do type of way, but like, no, I think it's beautiful that the culture of this town has what it has and all of that, and they love it, and that I love it for them, and it's wonderful, and now I love it too, but definitely did not always think like that at all whatsoever. I was literally raised in a barn, in the woods, in the fields, hunting, fishing, all of that. So my roots I was much more country than most of my peers, honestly, who wanted to be country. You know, they wanted to be like this, and I did not. I spent most of my childhood trying to 86 my accent because it was so thick. My peers would sit around who lived and grew up in the same location that I did, but somehow my accent was way thicker, so they would sit there and say this, and I hated it. So I taught myself how not to have an accent. Even like I let that go a little while back, so I definitely just talk however I talk now and don't care. But for a long time I hated the culture. I hated where I lived. I felt stuck. I wanted so badly to escape my location. I wanted to go off and see other cultures and meet different types of people and ways of living and explore the world and all of the wonderful things that they had. And I was very, very, very resentful towards the fact that no one I could find around me understood or shared that at all whatsoever. So of course I was just seen as rebellious. And then when I couldn't escape, I became very shut down and just kind of isolated myself to the internet, because that was as close as I could get to exploring the world and different cultures and different ideas and all of that. And it wasn't until recently, like the past 2, 3, 4 years, probably not even 4, like we're brand new with this whole embracing our community type thing. Just because I had to overcome my own insecurities and shortcomings I felt existed in both myself and my community, I had to find love for my roots, as well as heal from essentially the abuse I had received from being very different from everyone around me. Which means I also had to forgive everyone around me for being who they were and a product of where we all were. And once I was able to let go of all of the resentment and whatnot that I had established around the community that I was born and raised in, the world really started to open up to me in a way that it never had before, despite my vast openness to the entire world and trying to make my world bigger and encompass the whole globe, if that makes sense. I've always clung to that whole thing where, you know, they say that if you don't belong where you are, it's because you're supposed to help change that location or something or another. I used that to find comfort in myself and where I was and the fact that I was stuck here long before I was able to heal and move through everything and let go of this or that to actually embrace the area that I'm in. And now I couldn't be happier with where I am, honestly. And whereas for a long time my goal had been to heal myself through. Okay, hold on. My tagline for everything that I do online for a very many years, pretty much from the get-go, has been you heal the world by healing yourself, okay? So if we heal the individual, we heal the world. It's the law of correspondence, right? We covered that one in the 12 Laws episode. The macrocosm reflects the microcosm. So I've essentially been out here this whole time trying to save the world. But it wasn't until I was able to surpass all of my blocks essentially around my own community that I actually saw a way to start making progress in that goal. Because a lot of us want to change the world, right? A lot of us want to a better world. It's obvious that it needs some work, some healing, some something. But most of us think of it in too broad of an aspect. Like I did. I definitely thought of it in too broad of a way. Okay, we want to heal the world, right? We want to change the world. The world is big. Well, you're only one person, which is great, okay? But start in your community. You got to start smaller and then build your way out. A lot of people are resentful to their locations and where they are. But we have to let that go so that we can actually make it to our bigger goal, which is healing the world, right? Saving the world. Well, it starts in your community with your day-to-day interactions that then ripple out to touch others, and it grows. But you have to be willing to let yourself start at the beginning, which is where you are physically. I saw this thing on Facebook a little while ago. It wasn't very long ago, like a month or 3, I don't know. But it was talking about a monk who came to do a lecture in a college class or something, and he walked in and he went to the whiteboard and he wrote on the whiteboard, "Everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help mom do the dishes." And the whole overlying thought of that is that, sure, we all want to be heroes, okay? We all want to make a difference in the world. We all want to change the world. We want to do better than our predecessors. But very few of us are going to have the opportunity to, for example, run into a burning building and save a bunch of children, okay? But every single one of us are met every single day with multiple opportunities to do right by the people around us, to help them out, to do good here and there. And it seems little to you, helping mom do the dishes seems like it doesn't matter, and it's, man, we all hate it, okay? This endless list of to-do things that never ends because you have to do it again tomorrow. How mediocre, right? But through helping mom do the dishes, you're making the world a little bit of a better place. I don't know if you're familiar with Naruto. I'm obsessed with Naruto. And the whole overlining thing of Naruto is a bunch of grown-up ninjas raising baby ninjas to be ninjas to protect the village while bad guys come and try to, attack and stuff, right? But the whole overlying thing is that for the village, okay? It's for the good of the village. Everything is for the good of the village, which also comes back to for the good of the children, because the children are the only thing that matters, because they are the future of the village, and the only thing that matters is what's best for the village. So whatever's best for the village is what's best for the children, and whatever's best for the children is what's best for the village. And in that also we can get to the caretakers of the children and all of that. And that's where all of our mindsets should be, selflessness for the village, for the leaf, which is what the name of the village is in Naruto. So how can you be more focused towards your own village? What can you do for the people around you on a daily basis? It doesn't have to be some grand gesture, okay? It doesn't have to be okay, well, I'm going to open a wellness center for my community because that's what's needed. That's definitely my goal. But, it doesn't have to be so grand. It can be very simply helping mom with the dishes, holding the door open for a lady, complimenting someone's shirt, listening when someone speaks, and creating space, a safe space for them to share in a non-judgmental form and manner. There are so many things that we can do on a daily basis to help our village, and when we help our village, it radiates out to the rest of the world. Also, finding community in a farmer's market, trying to locally source and buy local and spend your money on local businesses. Volunteering somewhere if you have that kind of space and time. But if nothing else, I beg of you, Smile at children, and if they need to talk to you for a second, please be a safe place for them. Because ultimately, all we can do is be a little bit better than was done for us for the next generation. Nothing is more impactful. And it drives me crazy. I'm probably eventually going to do a whole episode on children. And I've touched on children before with like the Insights, the Celestine Prophecy series that we did. But as adults, we are notorious for shooing children away, pretending like they don't matter, their thoughts don't matter, that what their voice doesn't matter. We don't listen to them. We don't give them the attention and energy they deserve. We see them as an inconvenience. They're bothersome. They're annoying. And you know what? Every time you disregard a child in such a way, you are making the world a worse place instead of a better place. Ooh, if you truly do have the best intentions for the world, then loving the children around you is no better place to start. That's another place I tell people to focus if they're trying to heal and they don't know where to start or where to focus or what to do. Focus on the children around you, and they will tell you where to focus, okay? Children are innocent, pure. They want to play and be happy and hang out, and yeah, they can teach us so much more than we can teach them about a lot of things. But anyway, let me know some great community things that we can do. Let's get us a list going. Join us in the Facebook group. Let's talk about it there, because that's the most convenient place for me to talk about things. I love to know all of your thoughts. Together we can. And until next week, I love you guys. Namaste. Relax your face and shoulders. You're doing great. We're all in this together. Woo! What a ride.